10th, I think it is. This is Sunday, March 10th, 1991. Haghoff Snyder speaking with Zella Mae Bracken Shannon, better known as Mae Shannon. Mae, would you please tell us about when you first came to Captiva, what you did, who you knew, anything you can think of to talk about? What do you talk?
Well, I don't know where to start, but I'll start with just Fort Myers. Did you ever come to Fort Myers from Pittsburgh on a bus? Lord, I was a basket case when I got to Fort Myers. But I stayed in the old Leon Hotel and got on the ferry boat the next morning and hightailed it over. You know hightailing, that was fast travel in those days. Over to Captiva. This was in the year of 1947, I believe. 47, I think it was, or 46. No, 47. Got off the ferry. No, I didn't get off the ferry. I wasn't even on the ferry. Holy God, why don't you tell me these things, Peg? I got on the old mailboat. That's where I got off, at the mailboat. And there was my daddy standing watching for me. Oh, Bill Bracken, some of y'all know him. And he had gotten me a job at South Seas Plantation, so next day or two I went up to South Seas, big and bold. Mr. Hunt was the first guy I met up there. Imagine that, going from the top. Well, that's guess where you're supposed to start. Next thing we got through talking around up there, we stopped right down there at Andy's dock again for a beer. That was the best beer I ever tasted. I never drank too much of that Pittsburgh beer, but boy, sure was good that day. My dad and I sat up there at Andy's and we just guzzled down a few. Then I went to work at South Seas Plantation. Then there was a big to-do on New Year's Eve at Andy's. That was really the place to go on Saturday night. This was New Year's Eve. Sim Rouse put about 8 of us in his boat. We went down to Andy's dock that evening. Big to-do, I'm telling you. Everybody was there. There's where I saw Bill Shannon for the first time. Didn't take me long to get my hooks into him. Next July, on the 10th, we were married in Louisiana. Been sleeping with the same man ever since. Pretty good old guy, that Bill. Well, in the summertime there wasn't much to do. The Island Inn needed some help, and I went to work at Island Inn. Miss Cross had broken her leg, and they were sure wanting somebody to take her place. She was a dietitian. I held down that job for 2 winters. Then I wanted my own restaurant. Poor Bill. He worked hard to get it for me. We got it. Worked hard and hard. I guess we fed a few of you guys.
What was the name of your restaurant?
The name of the restaurant was Sunshine. I baked lime pies, not the kind that you put that condensed milk in, the old-fashioned kind. I'd stay up till 11 o'clock at night mixing up that filling for the pies and made the crust the next morning. Well, them people that come off the mailboat sure did eat it up. I don't know whether they liked it or not, or just hungry. We went in the west in the summertime because 6 months operation of the restaurant did not pay the 12 months mortgage payments we had. We bought that property from Mrs. Chadwick. Anybody remember her? We went out west to the A-Bar A Ranch. Worked there 4 years. It was fun. I sure got an education out there, too. Oh, shut it off. I have to rest. I don't know what else to say. I never said that. By the way, did any of you people ever have them scallops that you went out in the bay and jumped in the water out of the boat and picked them up yourself and then eat scallops? One time, Bill and I was sitting out there in Andy's docks, and we had a tub full of scallops. We were shucking those scallops, one in my mouth and one in the pan, and then drinking beer. By gosh, one day we was doing that, and I forget the guy's name that used to own the Captiva, but he come up there to Andy's and wanted me to come to cook for him that day. Howard Dayton, that was his name. And I said, oh my goodness, Howard, I couldn't do that. And he said, oh yes, you can. Well, I said, well, when? He said, right away, I need you tonight. I said, oh, I couldn't do that. I said, I've had a couple of beers under my belt now. I couldn't do that. There I keep on shucking them scallops. And he insisted. And I said, well, now you know, I've had a couple of beers. He said, okay, come on. So I put everything aside, cleaned myself up. I went down to that Casabel, and oh my goodness gracious. He told me they had a simple menu, but they didn't. They had a big menu. And if it hadn't been for Marilyn, that's Marilyn from down in Sanibel, Marilyn Hines. If it hadn't been for her, I'd have never made it through dinner. But she helped me out, and she told me where things was. Heck, I didn't know where to even look for a T-bone steak, let alone a flounder. We got through it somehow. Meryl and I still had many a laughs. I have a picture of her house now that she lives in New York. A beautiful, beautiful old home. It's 140 years old. It's beautiful. I know she's happy there. Meryl and I had a lot of good times together. We worked at South Seas Plantation and the Casabel. Somewhere else, I can't remember where. I guess we made the rounds. Island Inn. Yeah, I cooked down there at Island Inn too, but I guess it's been all around. Also, there used to be a restaurant at the end of the ferry, and Bill and I cooked there one summer. The girls had to go back to Connecticut for some reason or other, and we cooked that place. And Margie, she was waiting tables, and she used to sit on top of the icebox to keep the people from getting in there and getting their own Coca-Colas, as she wanted to serve them.
Wasn't his name Beers? No. It wasn't Vince McCready.
No.
Oh, okay.
Anyhow, we got through that summer, and that Margie, she's something else too, I'll tell you. She's one sweet gal.
You're talking Margie Spain.
Yes, I'm talking about Margie Spain. She's 3 years older than I am. Did you know that?
No.
God, I'm hitting 82.
So she's 85.
Yeah, she will be her next birthday. Well, I guess we've been out west long enough now, and we finally decided to build a few cottages. Got through that all right. Got into the real estate business. Seems to me like we worked hard enough. We ought to be able to sit down once in a while now and not have any qualms about it. That's all right. I sit plenty now. When I retired, I really retired. Now look at me. Fat. My God, you know I weigh over 200 pounds now. I used to weigh 117 pounds. Everybody said, oh my God, you're too skinny. Now everybody says, oh my God, you're too fat. Bill's put on a lot of weight too, but we're still happy.
Can we go back to the Sunshine Restaurant and tell us some of the folks that were friends, celebrities that you might have had?
Oh, the Sunshine Restaurant holds a lot of memories, Peg. I don't know where I would really start about the celebrities. Everybody's a celebrity.
Anyone you think of, or even your friends.
But besides that, I guess they had a big party down there at Andy's one night for, oh God, one of the politicians. I can't think of his name right now. But there was a big to-do down there. Oh, no, it wasn't politicians. Miss O'Brien was announcing her nephew's wedding. And Can you think of that guy's name that was a politician that used to visit down here on Captiva?
Oh, Adlai Stevenson.
Adlai Stevenson was his name. And I used to carry his dinner up to him every evening at about 7:30 when it was the busiest, because he wouldn't come to Sunshine Restaurant. Well, I met him down there at Andy's that night, and I just said to him, "Why don't you come to Sunshine and eat your food while it's hot instead of me carrying it down there to you?" You know, the next night he was there. Well, he's just one of them. The Lindberghs used to come to Captiva, and Bill used to pick them up. They wouldn't get off the train at Fort Myers or Tampa. They'd got off at a whistle stop at that time. They got off at Murdoch. That was just a whistle stop. At that time it was. I guess there's more around there now, but not very much yet, really. Well, they were very interesting people, I must say. Then, let's see, who was... Oh, you know John L. Lewis. He and his sister used to stay over in Pine Island, and they used to come over in their little putt-putt boat, stop at Andy's, get some bait, and maybe a soft drink. And then they always walked up to have a hamburger sandwich. That's all he'd ever eat. But one day I had some chicken soup, and I made up my mind that he was going to eat some chicken soup. I progressed over to his table, and Bill was on the grill that day, and I was awaiting tables because nobody else showed up. And I said to him, "My goodness, I had the best chicken soup. It's homemade chicken soup. Won't you try a bowl of it?" He said, "No." I insisted. I was bound determined I was going to sell him a bowl of chicken soup. I kept after him, and finally he said, "Okay, young lady, bring on the chicken soup." I thought Bill was going to bust a gut. He couldn't face the room. He had to face the kitchen wall because he said, "I never knew of anybody tried to sell John L. Lewis a bill of goods and sold it like you did that chicken soup." That's been a laughable thing ever since. I don't know. There's some mighty fine people. I guess everybody. One of my favorites was a doctor and his wife, you know, Peg and Leo. They're one of my favorites and still are, for that matter. God, many years have passed. We're still good friends, still think of each other. Well, that Leo, he can sure tell a story once in a while, too. I love to hear him tell stories. I got one for him I want to tell him today, too. I better laugh. Peg, it was a funny one. Don't let me forget to tell you. It's really funny, I mean it. It was about the Lord, but it's still funny. I'll tell it. Don't worry, I will. Bill says I tell it too often. He knows it off by heart, too, but it sure is a dandy. It comes from being married too long. That just comes from being married too long, I guess. Well,
Do you remember breakfast at Sardi's? Do you remember
oh, yes, Sardi's. They were another one that come in there. And that was another funny time. That couple came in every day for a hamburger. I never bothered asking them what their name was, but they called us Bill and May. One morning, Bill had pleurisy and couldn't get out of bed, so I thought the restaurant had to go. Just had to go, so I went down, opened it up, tried to do everything myself. And in come these people, and they ordered their sandwiches, but they were more interested in where was Bill. Well, I said, "Well, Bill can't get up today. He's sick in the bed." And they said, "Oh, my goodness, aren't you going to get a doctor?" I said, "Well, yeah, as soon as we get all you people fed, I might go up here to my friend." That was another doctor friend. Doctor, what the hell was his name then? Oh, he lived up there at the end of Palm Avenue. I guess you all remember. I can't remember his name right now. Anyhow, I went up to see Doc, and just wanted to know if...
Montgomery?
No, not Montgomery. On up there he lived, across from the Gulfview Inn. Hey, can you help me?
Oh, I know. Snelly.
Huh?
Snelly?
No. Anyhow, I thought I'd need to know just if Bill was sick enough to take him to town. That's all I wanted the doctor to tell me. But I got up there, and Gosh, the doctor asked me all the dumb questions I thought and kept me longer than I intended to stay. Because he asked me, did he have a fever? Did he have this? Did he have that? When was he in the bathroom last? I don't know. I didn't ask him. When I come back, the yard was full of cars, and that restaurant was full of people. And these two people that have been coming every day for hamburgers, he was at the grill, she was in the ice box, she was in the cash register, and they was all over that place, and there wasn't anywhere for me to step in. I just manned the register and let them go ahead. And then they said, what did he say about Bill? And I said, oh, he'd be down after a bit. So they said, well, okay, we'll see you later. They left. After they left and things thinned out a little bit, somebody's sitting in there yet. Said, you don't care who you have working in your restaurant, do you? I said, those are nice people. They stay down Jeremiahson's. I don't know. He said, you don't know what their name is? I said, no, don't know what the name is. They're just nice people. They stay down Dot and Jerry's. He said, well, I'll tell you who they are. They're Sardis, from Sardis in New York City. Can you imagine that? Them working in my restaurant. Well, there's more to that. About 10 years later, the Fitzhughs went to New York. They asked for Mr. Sardi. Mr. Sardi went over to their table, and didn't that Fitzhugh man say, have you ever been to Captiva? Do you know man Bill Shannon? And he said, oh, yes, I know them very well. I have today, right over there it is. I have a menu of Sardis with their autographed, and it's autographed your chief, chef, and bottle dishwasher. How about that? That was Vince from Breakfast at Sardis. Never can tell who's going to pull in up there next. Huh?
When you left the restaurant and started into real estate, how long did you work in it?
Oh, that real estate business, that was another thing. Bill got his license first, and we didn't have an office, but at that time, Priscilla Murphy said, all you need now is a desk. So we had a desk. That's all we needed, she said, if we passed. So Bill passed. He was a real estate man. So one evening, some strange people came in the restaurant, and they said to Margie, where's the real estate man? She said, it's that man standing over there mashing the potatoes. That's the way old Captiva used to be. God, it was fun, not like it is today. So we stayed, had the real estate business there and run the restaurant at the same time. And finally, my back played out on me, and I had to give the restaurant business up. So we bought that little corner, put up that cute little building. And Bill and I had a real estate office down there. By that time, I'd passed my test too. We thought we was pretty smart, I guess. We built in the cottages too. Built a cottage every year or so. Got them paid for it. Sold them. Moved from Captiva to Fort Myers. Heck, Peg, I'm tired.
Okay.
Let's have a drink.
All right.
Tell them about when you first came to the island. Just talk naturally. Bill Ball died to tell me. You want me to hold it for you?
Oh, that's all right. This is Bill Shannon speaking. Oh, this is voice activated, isn't it?
No. It just continuously rolls.
Well, to think about when I first came to the island was 1935. And I got into Fort Myers and had to spend the night there, or else take a taxi down to Ponderosa to catch the mail boat, which I did. It was the old Gladys. A steam boat that plied the bays in Ponta Gorda to Sanibel. and I finally ended up at Captiva. This was in 1935. So after 6 or 8 months, why I was pretty well cured from polio, and I went back to West Virginia and spent the summer and came back the next fall.
You stayed at the old hotel, Grandma Gore's.
This was a old fishing lodge. Grandma Gore was there. She was a character. Did you remember her? Yeah, well. So then, stop it for a minute. Well, to make a long story short, why I ended up at Andy's Pier, where I met Mace Bracken. From there on, why it's a story that she's already told.
Can you talk about the little house you lived in on the beach down at the end of what is now Whiteman Lane?
Yeah, that was a palmetto shack, which it had a cement floor and had 2 rooms, and it had running water. Built this thing for $27.
Where'd you get $27?
Well, I borrowed it. But
How long did you live there?
I lived there 2 or 3 years, and then after I left there, why Jack Cass and his wife and 3 kids lived in it.
When we come back from our honeymoon, they were living in it.
Yeah, so.
Can you imagine that?
But it stayed up for a long time.
Did it wash away
Oh, yeah.
from erosion?
I guess a hurricane got it finally, and but then well, here we go again.
That's what the monkey said.
The monkey said it too. So where is this?
After you and May got married, Bill, and you went through the restaurant routine, you went into real estate. Can you tell me anything about some of the big, beautiful houses you used to sell? Also about some of the swamps that were developed on
He
Sanibel.
wouldn't sell it.
Yeah. Well, who was Mike Reddy's father? I sold his house one time there, and that was, I think, was the start of the raise. I got $135,000 for that. I didn't believe it when they put the price on it. Then I sold rep logos. That was another one. That was $112,000.
Jesus.
But these houses were generally selling for $50,000 to $60,000 at that time. So that was the start of the
$1 million run.
yes, the so-called Gold Coast. Anyway, here we are in our house here with Peg and Leo. And it sure is nice to talk with them again.